Peace, fam, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Amira, the Brazen Goddess, and I just want to do a video today on snapping back after pregnancy. And it's such an important topic, I think, because we see it so much. We're always on Instagram, and we see the Instagram models and the fitness girls and the baddies, and they snap back 2 days after pregnancy, honey. Abs are back, everything. And we immediately are like, we compare ourselves. We might have a reaction of, well, that's them, I could never do that. Or even that recovery is all physical when it comes to our snapback. So let me give you some tips on how to actually snap back after having a baby. All right, so tip number 1. Always make sure, like, there are five needs that you have postpartum. After you have a baby, these are just some like inherent primal needs that we have. And I have them written down right here so I can go over some of the ones that I've learned. Now, I've done I've been to a few workshops online about postpartum recovery. I've also read a few books, especially in the last few months. It's been like a huge interest of mine that's peaked. So the first one is rest. The best way to snap back, honey, is to get that rest. But it's funny because in a lot of cultures, in a lot of African cultures and a lot of indigenous cultures, so I mean like ancient Asian cultures and Mexican culture, so Mesoamerica, Central America, like all throughout the world, right? One of the main things that we do is a 40 to 60 day, sometimes 20 to 60 day rest period for the mother. So that means sometimes that mothers would literally move back into their mother's house to be taken care of after having a baby. In some areas, a mother would even move back to her mother's house for 3 to 4 years to be taken care of after having a baby. So it's like really interesting that here in America, women are given 6 weeks for maternity leave. And usually it's not paid. And usually it is like if you take any time off before you have your baby, that's included. So you're expected to work to the day you have the baby. And then you're expected to snap right back and get back to work less than 6 weeks after having the baby. So that was something that for me, I found to be just crazy. Like, after my 6 weeks, I really just wanted to quit my job. I took my maternity leave a few days, literally like 2 or 3 days before I had my baby. And I was just like, what else? I mean, how are people doing this? To just work until the literal day that you had the baby. Like, and then after you have the baby, it's almost like you have to then get adjusted to not being around your baby 24/7. You know, you have to change your feeding schedule, the baby's sleeping schedule, everything changes. And so it's a big deal to just have to jump back into it. And it's also a big deal because in this culture, there's no true postpartum ritual or recovery ceremony or any type of rites of passage to coming into motherhood. And it's like, it's just not widespread at all. So it's like you get your checkup, a few days after you had a baby, after you leave the hospital, and then you get your checkup 6 weeks. 6 weeks later, they say, okay, you're good, girl. You go have sex, you go do exercise, whatever, you're good. So there's no real, like, really any type of ritual set up to kind of easily transition a woman into motherhood. So that's what that rest period is for. To just rest, not do any household chores, not do any cleaning, cooking, stuff like that. The women in your family should come and help you to do those things. Nourishing food is the second one. Now, in a lot of different cultures, they do warming foods because they don't believe that a woman should have any, like, your chest should not be out. You should not catch any draft or anything like that. Like, you should be completely kept warm. So warming foods with different spices, curries, ginger, cayenne, different spices like that would just help to warm you internally and to help to aid in the healing process. The second thing is loving touch. Now, this definitely comes into play, with your spouse, but also with just the women around you who are a part of that birth culture. I know I went through Layla B's 5-day, she had kind of like a 5-day workshop, and she talked about how in Morocco, the midwives of that community would come sing for you the traditional songs. They would come and cook for you traditional meals. They would come and bathe you, oil you down, massage you, rub your feet. They would come and take care of your home. All these different things that they did, just beautiful, love infused ceremony. You know what I mean? And I think it's something that we have to really put back into birth culture, just the loving touch, because a lot of times when we're getting postpartum depression and stuff like that, it's just, we really just need that love to kind of help us to move past any blockages that we have that are getting in the way of us healing from a huge, somewhat traumatic experience sometimes, a lot of times. So it does help to have that loving touch. The next thing is physical and spiritual companionship, which I think definitely kind of ties into the last one. But just having elder mothers around you, sisters around you, aunts, unmarried women, just people who can come and give you advice, show you how to change a diaper or how to wash baby poop out of clothes, whatever it is, just to give you tips and advice to help you with anything that you need, to be your hands when when you're taking care of yourself and your baby. So definitely having that physical and spiritual companionship, whether that's your family or your, support circle, that really makes a difference. And I think it helped me with all of my pregnancies. It helped me to recover because let's be real, you need that after going through such an experience and then trying to make sure that you're healthy and your baby's healthy. You need that help, right? And that guidance. So having that. And then the last one, which I found was really interesting, was contact with nature. And I think that this is a big one too, that we kind of forget to include in this society because we're just so focused on our screen time and our social media and our just making sure the bills are paid, making sure we get to work, making sure we do this and that, making sure the house is clean, making sure whatever, that we forget to really stop and take in the beauty of nature. And we forget to stop and take in the lessons that we can learn from nature. And one of the biggest lessons that I learned is a small amount of growth every single day leads up to massive amount of result. You can watch a tree and you don't notice a tree grow. There's a very rare that you will notice something actually grow right before your eyes. But when you see just that small amount, that consistent growth, it becomes something beautiful, something amazing, something unique. And that's something that's inspired me for years now. Since I noticed this, it's really just helped me to remember, even if it's just a small amount, do something towards your self-mastery, your self-growth every single day. And that was the last one. So contact with nature. And I thought that this would be important because, like I said, so often we're pressured. How are you going to snap back? Girl, what's the snap back plan? How are you going to get back snatched after you had a baby? And what we really need to focus on, especially in our community, is Black girls, Black women. We need to focus on these 5 components and making sure that you are snapping back inside and out. Not just, is your waist back snatched, but are you mentally and physically and spiritually feeling whole and solid again after going through the process of having a baby? So thank you so much for listening. I want you to take the time, if you haven't already, to subscribe and share this with your friends and family. If you know somebody about to have a baby or who just had a baby, please, please, please make sure to reach out to them and see what you can do to help. So thank you all so much for watching. Peace.